Welcome back to Cozy Inspiration, my amazing friends. Today, we're going to talk about something that's not always easy to discuss: the importance of acknowledging our sadness. As Anne Lamott once said, "The only way I can be of service is to embrace my sadness and my humanness." You see, so often we feel pressured to always be positive, to constantly wear a smile. But the truth is, sadness is a natural and necessary part of the human experience. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's important that we create space for those difficult emotions. So let's talk about it. Over the next little bit, I'm going to share some insights and practical tips that have helped me and many others navigate the ebbs and flows of sadness with self-compassion and grace. By the end of this video, my hope is that you'll feel empowered to embrace all of your emotions, the good, the bad, and the everything in between. Understanding the purpose of sadness. Let's start by addressing the common misconception that sadness is inherently bad or something to be avoided at all costs. The truth is, sadness serves an incredibly important purpose in our lives. Sadness is the emotional response to loss. Whether it's the end of a relationship, the death of a loved one, or even the closing of a significant chapter in our lives. It's our brain's way of processing and making sense of these painful experiences. When we feel sadness, it's our mind and body's way of saying, "Hey, this is hard. This is really, really hard." And that's okay. Sadness asks us to slow down, to turn inward, to reflect and process what we're going through. Happiness can only be happiness when we know sadness. So rather than trying to numb it or push it away, the healthiest thing we can do is to lean into that sadness, to really feel it, and to allow it to run its course. Because the alternative, burying it or ignoring it, often leads to bigger problems down the line. Creating space for sadness. All right, now that we understand the purpose of sadness, let's talk about how we can create space for it in our lives. Because the truth is, in our fast-paced, constantly connected world, it's all too easy to just push those difficult emotions aside. The first step is to be intentional about setting aside time to process your feelings. I know that might sound a bit counterintuitive. After all, who wants to carve out time to be sad? But trust me, it's so important. Try this. However often you feel fits your situation, whether that's once a week or even once a day, set aside some time. Even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes, find a quiet place where you can sit with your emotions. Light a candle, make a cup of tea, and just allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling. Don't judge it, don't try to fix it, just sit with it. You can even journal about it or talk to a trusted friend. The key is to create a safe, sacred space where you can fully acknowledge and honor your emotions, without any pressure to get over it or be positive. Remember, sadness isn't something to be afraid of. It's a natural part of the human experience. And the more we can embrace it, the more we can move through it with grace and self-compassion. Challenging unhelpful thoughts. Okay, now let's talk about something that can really compound our sadness. The unhelpful thoughts we have about our sadness. You know the ones I'm talking about. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I'm such a burden. I'm never going to get through this. These kinds of thoughts can really drag us down and make the sadness feel even harder to bear. That's why it's so important to start challenging those unhelpful thought patterns. When you catch yourself having a negative thought about your sadness, pause and ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is it helping me in any way? More often than not, the answer is no. So then try reframing it. Something like, it's okay to feel sad right now. This is a normal human response. Or, I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough. The more we can replace those unhelpful thoughts with self-compassionate ones, the easier it becomes to move through our sadness with kindness and understanding. Finding comfort in connection. Now, I want to touch on something that could be a real game changer when it comes to navigating sadness: the power of connection. You see, so often when we're feeling sad, we have a tendency to isolate ourselves. We convince ourselves that we're a burden, that we shouldn't bother our loved ones with our problems. But the truth is, connection is one of the most powerful antidotes to sadness. Whether it's reaching out to a close friend, joining a support group, or even just sharing your feelings with a trusted family member, allowing yourself to be seen and supported can make all the difference. Because when we're in the depths of sadness, it's easy to feel alone. But the reality is we're never truly alone. There are people who care about us and want to help. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Open up about what you're going through. You might be surprised by how much comfort and understanding you find. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. Sometimes the simple act of showing up and saying, "I'm struggling right now," is the bravest and most important thing you can do. Embracing the ebb and flow. The final piece of the puzzle when it comes to navigating sadness is understanding that it's not a linear process. Sadness isn't something we can just get over. It's an ebb and flow, a constant dance between light and dark. There will be days when the sadness feels overwhelming, and that's okay. There will also be days when you feel a glimmer of hope, a spark of joy, and that's okay too. The key is to embrace the whole spectrum of emotions without judgment or expectation. Remember, healing isn't about getting rid of the sadness entirely. It's about learning to coexist with it, to make space for it, and to trust that the difficult moments won't last forever. Because even on our darkest days, there is light to be found, if only we have the courage to look for it. My friends, I want you to remember this. Your sadness is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's a testament to your humanity, to your ability to feel deeply and authentically. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it, sit with it, and know that you are not alone. There are so many of us who understand what you're going through, who are on this journey with you. If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with someone who might need to hear these words. Also keep in mind that there are levels of sadness, and seeking help from mental health resources is never a bad idea. And don't forget to subscribe to Cozy Inspiration for more uplifting content. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take good care of yourselves, and remember, it's always okay to be sad sometimes.